is wobbling. Oh, big kibosh! Surely that's it now! Yes, it is! Oh,
He's a talented guy. What concerns me the most is his height and reach. I mean, I'm 8 inches shorter than him. I gotta stay away from that right high kick.
Fine, the winner boring and there's a huge big kibosh! High right round! This one's gonna be over! It's good night freaking Irene!
I mean, he's 5'6". I would assume that's his only option, you know. I don't, if he wants to play outside game with me, then be my guest.
He's got a big, long, tall body, you know, so I mean, it would only make sense that I'm gonna dig some left hooks to the body. The left hook happens to be my favorite punch.
Durable fighter, I mean, a lot of fights, veteran of the Midwest fight scene.
If you put any time in and you look into my record, you'll see that I was competitive with all the good guys.
His time's over. You know, this is my time. This is my time to come in and do what I'm doing.
I'm no more excited about this one than any other fight. You know, it's I mean, I want to win them all, and whether it's in this show or some small show in some barn somewhere, I'm gonna fight exactly the same. And be in front of the largest crowd of 4 people, and you're gonna get the same effort from me. You know, I enjoy competing.
I'm trying to prove that I belong with an upper echelon of fighters. You know, I'm not the quote-unquote Midwest journeyman type fighter. I'm a top-tier athlete that deserves to be in the biggest possible show. Whatever I have to do to prove that, it is what it is. If Joe Jordan's the next guy to get me one step closer to proving that, so be it.
It is a co-main event we have all been waiting for. Can James Krause continue his brilliant streak of late, or will the man they call Pork Chop put a dent in Krause's proceedings? Mike Kendall, let's do this.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for your co-main event of the evening. Please welcome, fighting out of the blue corner, Joe Pork Chop Jordan.
Pork Chop Joe Jordan made his pro boxing debut a few weeks ago in Davenport and won by decision. He's looking to carry that boxing skill into the cage tonight and get on the inside of Krause's reach. Rip the left hooks into Krause's body, to that liver, to those floating ribs. Coming off a neck injury though, Pat, you have to wonder how that neck will hold up, especially if Krause gets a hold of one of his trademark guillotines.
Right, one of the few submissions that Jordan's been caught in that long career is the guillotine choke, but Jordan he's an old school style guy. He's got the catch wrestling combined with jiu-jitsu, off-center lean style of boxing. He's a rugged, tough guy, and he's been around for a long time, been in with a lot of big names.
Let's take a closer look here at Joe Jordan, and I am impressed that he's coming out to a little bit of a talking head.
Yeah, pretty good song. But there's the liver shot that he likes to throw. He does it a lot in practice and does it a lot in fights. He's very experienced, very relaxed in a lot of fights, and likes to put a beating on people, as you can see.
What's unbelievable about Pork Chop is that in 64 fights, he's only had stitches once on his face. And that was the week before Anderson Silva fought Vitor Belfort. And what happened in the fight was that Pork Chop got hit with the exact same kick that Anderson landed on Vitor, except a week before it happened in the UFC.
Yeah, and it almost peeled his nose completely off his face. I saw that fight actually, I was there, and he knew he was in trouble when he got hit with it.
All right, we're gonna bring you into the middle, we're gonna talk you in and stuff like that, give you instructions, but we're just gonna bring it out in the middle.
Please welcome his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, the James Krause.
James Krause enters the cage tonight on an absolute tear, winning his last 5. 4 by stoppage, including 3 finishes in the very first round. Last time out against undefeated Guilherme Trindade in Las Vegas, Krause was brutal. He dropped Trindade with a head kick and pounded him out in just 31 seconds. He says tonight won't be a 30-second finish. He knows how tough, how durable Joe Jordan is. Krause says he's prepared to go 15 minutes, but Porkchop is not. A closer look here, Pat, at the James Krause.
Krause is a very tall, long-ranging, dangerous guy. You see that lean when he disappears out of sight and then throws that kick over the top. It's a slick little move that he has, but he does it most of the time to southpaws because that's the open side of the head. He may need a little more than that tonight against the experienced Jordan.
There's the experience, 64 fights to Porkchop, 17-4 James Krause. Jordan the elder, but look at the difference in reach. 67 inches versus 75, 8-inch reach advantage to James Krause. Can Porkchop get on the inside of Krause's succulent jab? His beautiful head kicks and bang to the body. Striking, it's Krause. Ground game even. Speed is Krause. Strength is even, and endurance goes the way of the James Krause. Once again, up to Mike Kendall.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the co-main event of the evening. It is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds in the RFA welterweight division. And it's brought to you by Jacko. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands at 5'6" and weighing in at 170.6 pounds. Holding a professional MMA record of 49 wins, 13 losses, and 2 draws. Training out of Militich Fighting Systems. From Bettendorf, Iowa, Joe Porkchop Jordan. His opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner, stands at 6'2" and weighing in at 169.8 pounds. Holding a professional MMA record of 17 wins, 4 losses. Training out of Grindhouse MMA from Lee Summit, Missouri, the James Krause. Your referee in charge of the action is Bo Nessline.
All right, gentlemen, this is for the co-main event. You've already received your instructions in the dressing room. Listen and obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. If I say do something, I'm gonna stop the fight. That means do something immediately. Otherwise, I could stop the fight and the fight could be over. Do you understand? Any questions from the red corner? Any questions from blue? Touch them out. Let's do it.
James Krause comes in the favourite at -750. The comeback on Jordan at +450. Jordan a 49% KO ratio, 29% on submissions. Krause 29% KOs, a high 65% submission finishes.
Make it hot, round one.
Michael Chavello, Pat Militich with you, and Porkchop comes bounding out of the corner. Tries to barrel in early, close the distance. Krause ties him up against the cage.
Krause looking to take this thing to the ground a little bit. Jordan posting that hand on the inside, keeping those hips back. But Krause has got a lot of leverage because of that height, and he's a young, strong guy.
In his last fight in Las Vegas at RFA 4, Krause had already finished Trindade by this time. There's the high kick, the headache maker he's so well known for. It was the beginning of the end for Trindade when Krause landed that in Las Vegas. Krause sitting behind his jab. He does it so well, keeps opponents at the end of his gloves, uses that God-given reach advantage.
Yeah, he does it well, pokes at people. Doing a good job with that distance keeper.
Jordan's got to find a way to bridge the gap here, get on the inside and bang to the body, and Krause switches to southpaw now.
Come with that left high kick possibly, huh?
Good call, Pat. Most certainly it's what he's sitting for here. You may have noticed that Porkchop is perhaps dropping his right hand a little low. Good right hook there from Krause. Switches back to orthodox now. It's a confident start from James Krause.
Good job trying to confuse the veteran with the change up in the stances.
Fake there from Krause. Picking every shot perfectly with precision. The man from Lee Summit, Missouri. One of the crossover fighters from the merge between Titan Fighting Championships and RFA. Back to southpaw here for Krause.
Jordan having a tough time getting inside of that reach.
And there's one we haven't seen before, the fake overhand right to a high right round kick.
That's a nice little setup.
Krause never seems to rush his contests. Often finds the finish either via KO or submission, but never overextends himself, never puts himself in a situation he doesn't need to be in.
Krause tried to time that liver kick with that right hand of Jordan. It was really well placed.
The Muay Thai skills of Krause have improved markedly over the last year. And Pork Chop is just in no man's land. Just time and time again being picked apart by these shots. You've either got to be completely on the outside or on the inside. And at the moment, he is sitting at the end of the gloves of James Krause.
Yeah, and to cover the gap on a guy like Krause, when you're that much shorter than he is with that reach disadvantage, you've got to attack when he attacks. You've got to move your head, slide inside while he's punching, and land.
There's a body shot from Pork Chop. Krause goes to the body now, drops down for a double leg to no avail. He sought a moment's opportunity there, James Krause.
Yeah, I thought Jordan was hurt. He was off balance there. That's what he needs to do right there, is move his head when Krause throws that and throw.
Just tucking the chin and barreling in. Pork Chop with 1 minute 20 remaining first round. It's been James Krause's round. Maybe some trouble with the right glove here on Jordan.
Yes.
He keeps trying to adjust something there.
Either that or he dislocated a finger somewhere in there.
And again, Krause switching to southpaw, picking him off with the jab. Now back to orthodox and with a jab again from Krause. Teep kick to the midsection. Chance go up for Pork Chop. He locks onto a single here, does Jordan. And Krause just shrugs him off.
Good job defending that.
Double jab from Krause. Krause is keeping his chin in the air. And Jordan hasn't really tried to test it so far with any overhand rights or leaping left hooks. So Krause does have that confidence that his chin is safe as high as it is. Nice two-punch combination there. Snaps that round kick beautifully. Doesn't really pivot on the lead foot. He's got a lot of torque in the waist though, James Krause. And this has just been a very nice striking display from the James Krause. He'll take this first round, no doubt, 10-9.
Yeah, Krause doing a good job controlling distance the entire round. Very impressive striking.
One corner. You got to decide who's going to be in. The other guy's got to get out.
No, he's here.
Don't forget about the leg, right? Punches after the kick and before the kick. And there's moments where he's being slick and kind of fading. You can advance into that. Don't let him be comfortable like fading like that. You know what I mean? No, you don't. Just keep doing exactly what you did. He's a pro, man. He's pressing me.
It was all James Krause in the opening round. 10-9 on Pat Militich's scorecard, courtesy of that succulent striking. It is time for Pork Chop to get a move on. Try and bridge that gap and get on the inside of that jab of Krause.
Raymond right. Make it hot. Round two.
And you see immediately Jordan trying to press his way in. Krause switching to southpaw, digging to the liver, throws the jab.
Boys are picking it up a little bit this round.
You sense now that Pork Chop is warming to the fight. Skip up front kick there from Krause. And look how he just paused the jab.
Jordan trying to wade in now, trying to get him against the cage.
It's not something you see a lot of in mixed martial arts. The jab used as a pouring technique. The way that Lennox Lewis used to use it so effectively in boxing. Pour, then throw the cross.
Jordan trying to get him to come in and start swinging with him.
Again, Krause just measuring his distance. He's choosing these punches very selectively. Not allowing Pork Chop to come in. This has to be frustrating for the veteran, Pat.
Yeah, it is. Krause is very good about getting out of the way of those counters, coming back his way and countering again. So he's countering the counters.
Krause has tagged him with the right hand. There's a nice stiff left from Pork Chop. And Pork Chop has shrugged off some of those power shots. He's got a head like a cinder block.
The one thing Jordan's got to be careful of, he lowers his level when he punches a lot, and he's almost eating those knees when Krause tries to time it. You have to be real careful with that.
How long before we see Krause wind up for the round kick? Pork Chop gives a shout out to a fan in the crowd. Crowd got a little rowdy in our previous fight. They have since calmed down and the culprits have been ejected. It's always good to see.
Makes you wonder what's going on in the parking lot right now. I think Jordan definitely needs to set up a takedown here. He's got to figure that out.
This is just Jordan being outboxed by Krause. Krause forces him back, and Jordan again shakes his head and says, "You didn't hurt me." There's the head kick, and again, Pork Chop just shrugs it off. For a man of such short stature, Pork Chop has a head like the Easter Island statue. And it's proving a tough head at the moment. He's taken some good shots from James Krause.
He's got to put Krause against the cage. He's got to cut Krause off, otherwise this is going to continue the whole fight.
You feel, though, Pat, this isn't even James Krause getting out of first gear, really.
Not yet, not yet. He's playing it safe and making sure he gets the W.
Continually switching between southpaw and orthodox is Krause. Pork Chop just continually being backed up here. He's got to start working angles. He's got to start wailing in. Put the chin down, look through the brow, come in with an overhand right or a left hook, Pat.
Yeah, he's got to get some head movement going while he moves forward.
And take some risks.
Lean that head side to side, move his way in, get inside, make something miss, and then land.
Beautiful
nice.
Step across outside thigh kick there.
Yeah, he set it up nicely with a good combo.
There is damage under the right eye now of Pork Chop.
Krause doing a great job when Jordan comes forward of peeling off to the angles.
A little bit of capoeira stylings there from Krause, putting on a show, and there's a stiff uppercut. He sent Pork Chop back 2 paces with that right hand. And Krause stepped through knee. Just untouchable here, James Krause. Came in riding a 5-fight winning streak. Oh, look at the fake. He is just dismantling Pork Chop. Every technique, every trick he has tried in sparring, James Krause is doing here tonight.
And Jordan's obviously getting tired. He's had to move a lot just to get out of the way of stuff and get inside.
Pork Chop just not pressuring Krause, allowing Krause to dictate this fight at will.
There's a nice knee there to the body, throwing that head kick, and Jordan, I don't know if Krause really committed on that kick with a lot of power. Then doing a little cartwheel kick thing for just for show, knowing that he's got the fight under control right now, able to show off a little bit.
You can call it capoeira styling, but if you're a Muay Thai fan, you'll know that someone like Sanchai does cartwheel kicks like that in Muay Thai fights. The all-time great Muay Thai fighter, Sanchai. Something to behold if you ever get to see one of his fights. 2 rounds to zip in favor of James Krause. 2018 after 2, says Pat Miletich. There must be some urgency And a little desperation now from Pork Chop Jordan, because Krause has just controlled him, kept him at range, picked him off.
Ready, my left. Ready, my right. Make it hot. Round 3.
Single leg. You see that urgency now from Pork Chop. He wants to test the game on the ground, and Krause says, I'll do it. Here's the guillotine we spoke about.
That's tight.
The trademark submission of the James Krause, and he does it again. The James Krause taps out Pork Chop Jordan with a guillotine in the 3rd round.
Jordan knew he had to get that fight to the ground. He was having a lot of trouble standing up. Good job getting the takedown, but Krause, great hips, getting right back up, landing that guillotine, the arm man, trapping him down in the well and finishing the fight.
Once James Krause locks on the guillotine, few survive. Especially coming back after that neck injury. Of course, the neck doesn't get tested like that in the boxing, which Pork Chop had his last fight just a few weeks ago in Davenport, winning that one, pro boxing debut. Certainly the first time that Krause put arms around the neck. Pork Chop forced to tap out. Krause on an absolute tear. 6 fights in a row, he's won now. Found a new home here at Resurrection Fighting Alliance after being one of the true stars of the now defunct Titan Fighting Championships. And let's go up to Mike Kendall to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, your referee, Paul Nessline, calls the stop to this fight at 19 seconds of the 3rd and final round for your winner. By tap out due to guillotine choke, the James Krause.
All right, I'm here with James Krause. James, you did an excellent job using your jab, beautiful kicks in there. Tell us a little bit about controlling distance.
You know, I just like to set everything up on my jab. I knew Joe's a guy that, man, if you let him get off early, you know, he's gonna make you pay for it. And I had to keep him at the end of my punches and my jab, and I felt like I did a great job. I got Austin Ford helping me with my range, my boxing, kind of sitting down a little bit more and learn how to box a lot better.
Yeah, and you seem to take your time quite a bit tonight. Does that have something to do with the experience of Jordan, or something also to do with the fact that you just fought a couple of weeks ago?
No, you know, I come out to finish guys, man. These kicks and stuff like that I'm trying to throw aren't just for TV. I'm trying to finish people. And I knew Joe wasn't a guy that's just going to lay down in a couple seconds, so I knew I might as well kind of pack my bags and stay for a little while.
Now, it was obvious that you were controlling the stand-up, and he looked for that takedown at the beginning of the 3rd round. Were you trying to pressure him with your strikes to get him to do that, to look for the choke?
Yeah, you know, I have a good guillotine choke. I feel like, you know, and I thought if I would get off on the hands, you know, and start touching him a little bit, he would shoot in at some point. And I was ready for it. You know, I feel like I'm a good jiu-jitsu player. Just got my purple belt a little while back, you know, and I'm just, you know, I feel like I'm becoming a complete fighter that's ready for the next level. So, Joe Silva, give me a call sometime, buddy.
All right, James, great fight. James Krause, ladies and gentlemen.
The James Krause takes his record to 18-4. He has won his last 6